Good morning, traders. Welcome back. It's March 8th, and let's see, what else is it? It's a Wednesday. And there's also a lot of macro stuff dropping today, so I want to be a little bit careful. I'll go over that in a second. But let's go through some of these top gainers here. We got KBAL, which is having quite a big move. Around 1239 right now. It's up 67% pre-market. That's really crazy. So a lot of resistance around 750 broke over, and now it's well over 9 as well. Just breaking these big top and bottom zones. And actually, let me move this one back because it kind of starts from way back here. And it looks like we're stuck in a bit of a range here as well. So 1250 is that zone, and you can see we're just constantly flying through these areas. Let's go back to a weekly. We could even remove this one, put the 1250 all the way over here, and then I would say the next major zone might be around 15, arguably a little bit less, around 14 or so, but $1.50 is always significant. So that is KBAL, commercial service company, 36 million market cap, 244 or 240 million market cap, 36 million shares outstanding. So it's definitely a bit more of a large cap. Acquisition news. This company will acquire another company for 485 million. So they had to definitely get a lot of financing for that. I'm not usually crazy about acquisition news, but we'll see how it forms. FRTX holding as well, really good, up 60%, high at 33. Let's go to the daily as well. Biotech, 3 million shares, 5.5 million market cap. That's a little bit nicer and has a catalyst. So this is more of a classic small cap, $5 big time resistance. But then I would argue there's also a key zone right around 3.5, and we're right below that. So if we can get over 3.5, I think this ticker could be in play. But for now, it is over the 180 SMA, so that is actually a pretty bullish sign. And this move over $2 was also pretty significant. So let's see if we can continue that hike. It's almost 7 a.m. And then we got RIGL as well. So a lot moving today, RIGL. $2 is a pretty good spot to know. So 67, 40, 63, and 46% all up. A lot moving. VRAX from yesterday really got clobbered pretty hard, although it's still probably going to find quite a bit of support on its way down. We'll see how it behaves. I'm not super interested in trading it. TRKA from yesterday had an aggressive sell-off, found support very low. I think I'm done with this ticker. And then UNCY, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit more of this ticker today. And that's got tons of support in the 13s and also in the 30s where it is right now. So I don't think it's going anywhere just yet, but I want to be a little bit careful here. This 13 zone is actually a pretty good territory to potentially look for some dip buys if that is something that you're doing. We also have AMAM, which I think is worth discussing because right now we're kind of flagging to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised if it broke down again. I'd be very careful buying it today. But clearly in this zone around 630, there's a lot of support. So let's just go to the 15-minute and kind of map this out. This general support zone right around here. We'll be in that zone pretty soon. And again, on the daily, that's what it looks like right here. So that could be a dip buy opportunity potentially. So far, this is what my second screen looks like. Got RUT and the SPY up here, and then the other tickers accordingly. And just to review, this week, you'll see today, jam-packed schedule. First at 8:30, then at 10. Yesterday was already really rough, with Powell basically saying things are going to probably, or we're going to keep increasing interest rates more than we expected. So market didn't like that a lot, so we'll see where we go from here. I don't think balance of trade will be too significant, but I wouldn't want to be in a trade right when it comes out. And then I think 10 a.m. is really where it's going to get a little bit more crazy. Just as a quick thought on KBAL, it's actually going to be finding a lot of support here, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up holding and continuing higher at 10.08 right now. We are starting to find a lot of support right in this area. So this is a really, really critical zone, and down to like 990 to somewhere in this like 10-12 zone. A lot of support here, so I'll keep an eye on it, but I only want to be day trading over VWAP. All right, FRTX is popping up. Good breakout on the 5-minute for sure. We have a big shoulder here at 3, but I think we could maybe run to that. So that's what I'm going to be looking for now. So let's see if we can get that move to 3. I'll be using smaller size, my first trade of the day. So, and first time trading this ticker today. So let's just get a little bit of a better understanding for it. Still a lot of support. Could keep running. Very healthy so far. Again, there's a big shoulder here right around 310, which we just touched, so want to be a little bit careful. Looks like I hesitated a little bit too much there. That was a solid breakout. I will be looking for that initial pullback, but pullbacks have been really nasty lately, so got to be mindful of that. All right, FRTX is pulling back a little. I do have some limit orders out, although I don't expect them to get triggered. Just kind of keeping track of zones here. 305 is a significant zone, so if we can get a entry back in this area, that'd be great. Right now we're having that first push off the 9 EMA, which is also a really good setup. But this was such a strong move. I was kind of expecting a bigger pullback here, which we did not get. So this would have actually been an okay trade. A small winner, 1% or so. Could have maybe made 90 bucks if I used 1,000 shares and had a perfect entry and exit. So nothing really too nice. We might see something like this, 9 EMA pullback, and then a larger sell-off. So I would be looking for that larger sell-off first. Still watching. KBAL is actually also trending higher at this point. Also a good ticker to maybe keep an eye on. A little bit more tricky to trade due to share a smaller amount of volume, but it is in that healthy little front side trend here. Nice move there on FRTX. I didn't really expect it to pump up already, so I'm fine with missing moves, and especially if I'm not comfortable with the ticker. That being said, I think I'll probably have to be more aggressive next time. We had that move below the 9 EMA, slight little pop there before the rip, so that would have been a good opportunity to jump in on this one. And keep an eye on this 33 zone. I did not see this move coming on FRTX. This one really snuck up on me. This was a really shaky ticker with a lot of pullbacks, a lot of failed breakouts. Gotta say, it performed much better than I expected. So not really on the flow on this ticker, which is fine. Hopefully I can get on the flow on this ticker. We got a lot of news dropping today, so if I can wrap up sooner than later, that'd be great. If not, that's also fine, and I'll just make sure I don't overtrade. That must have been the first time a micro pullback actually worked. I've been buying a lot of micro pullbacks lately, and yesterday was a perfect example of hitting my max stop because of micro pullbacks. I'll go for these moves and then they end up flushing. So I'm trying to avoid buying micro pullbacks. Typically I would. This time it would have worked out, but yeah, it is what it is. This is another micro pullback. Maybe we're gonna get a new high, but it's still not for me. At this point, 5-minute is super extended. We had a 12, 13, 14% move. Now we're at about a 15, 16% move. I'm gonna give this one a little bit of time. I clearly was too cautious now or earlier, and I don't want to FOMO now, so I'd rather really let this one breathe a bit. That was the first bigger pullback. I did miss my entry though. Don't want to chase it here, but if it goes a little bit more red again, I would try to start sizing into it. So it'd have to be below 42. I think a big problem with how I missed a lot of moves on FRTX today was I've been trading so many sub-dollar tickers or sub-$2 tickers, and they're very wicky. They'll go, you know, boom, and then pop up, and then wick back down. There's tons of times to get a lower entry. FRTX is a classic, you know, small cap between $2 and $7 that I usually like because they hold the night EMA much better. I failed to really acknowledge that fact today, and that's what caused me to miss a lot of entries. This looks like we can see an ABC pattern setting up, so this is what I'm going to be looking for. Not sure if it'll be a breakout, but I think my first entry will be a quick scalp. My second one will be looking for a breakout. We'll see what happens. All right, my first trade on FRIX, kind of close to the 15 EMA. 5 minutes still somewhat extended, but I'm looking for that overall setup for a, let's move these down a little bit just in case we get a big quick wick that doesn't hold. I'm looking for that ABC pattern like I mentioned before, looking for a move back to the 50s, and ideally make it a fairly quick trade if I can. Let's see how it holds here. Still a lot of sellers there, but the bid is very aggressive. It's chasing the ask, which is a good sign. So let's leave this one a little bit of time. Nice little pop. Looking for a move. Ideally above 50, but I don't think we're going to get such an aggressive pop without very strong pullback. So sometimes you get these random wicks that come out of nowhere, so I do like to put sometimes limit orders in place ahead of time. Some light movement, but it's not really budging much. The volume's very, very depressed right now. Got a new 5 minute coming up in 2 minutes, which gives us plenty of time still in this candle to at least try to pop higher. But it's still struggling quite a bit. And this is going to be a tough spot for it to break out around 48. I'll see if we can take one size off, and then if it pops lower, I would try to get that back. It's 8:08. Got another 12 minutes or 22 minutes before news drops. So there's that pullback that I wanted to size up into a little bit more if possible. That's a little slow right now. Pause. Not a lot of action happened. Popped down a little bit, but sell volume was very light, so I figured, you know, probably be fine to hold it a little bit longer. So we had a bit of a double bottom popping higher. This is where you want to still give it a little bit of opportunity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I already held 5 minutes. That's quite a long time for me. You can see the larger flag that we've kind of created here. I wouldn't be surprised if it did break a little bit lower first, found a bottom, and then ripped higher. So I'm being really quick to cut my losses here. Starting to exit this position. Moving a little higher. I should have got out earlier, breakout or bailout, and I think I held on to this one just a little bit too long. I'm not totally surprised that it failed there. It should have ripped higher here. On this pullback, I should have closed it. I can always re-enter, so I overstayed my welcome here on this one without a question. Getting a little bit of a 9 EMA move here. I started going in with just a small size. Just see if I can get a flow on this ticker. Still, momentum is crawling a little bit higher, so yep, I was delayed that for a second. Nice. Well, I got a small move there, but I didn't get my size. I thought we were gonna kind of delay a little bit more like we have been. But these front sides, they're very quick. You know, when they happen, they happen. You can't be overly patient. It's really once you start ranging and you're trending lower that you have to be really patient. So I messed that one up a little bit. Pullback. Now we're looking for a bigger pullback and hopefully some continuation. So this is where you don't want to get overly aggressive. Let's see if we can get a pullback a little bit lower. Here we go. Got the fill. Now let's see if this can crawl back to 3.5. This is where a lot of the time I've been, so since I'm red on the day, my initial goal is always to get back green on the day, not to have a home run trade. Because there's nothing worse than being back at break even and then all of a sudden you're back in the red because you didn't take your profits, which happens to me more times than I should ever happen. Like where, yeah, I could have held a little bit longer, but oftentimes it'll go like that and I'm like, oh, I could have got back in the green. You have to change your momentum, your personal brain momentum. I always call it a green mind when you're, you know, in the flow, or a red mind when you're just in the red and you can't get positive. So yeah, if I held here looking for that breakout, I would have been red at this point. That would have been very frustrating to me. So let's be patient. All right, so we're a little bit of an ascending possible channel here. So I'm gonna just try to buy it low on these channel moves. If it's a smaller size, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Let's see if we could just start trending higher. This ticker's definitely back in play, so you do want to just be mindful of that. Look at this pullback it had. I could have been maybe a bit more mindful of that. So yeah, this is why you want to be really cautious. When you're not in full-on breakout mode, you got to be cautious. Give it a little bit. Base hits until I'm green. That's the goal, right? Here we go. Boom, nice. So we're officially back in the green, not by a lot, but by enough. So if I cut my losses here a little bit quicker, it would have been nice. Yeah, so if I was looking for a home run trade just now, I would have been, you know, even back to this loss, and it would have made me very agitated, and that would have been very frustrating. I'm gonna remove this channel marker. Don't want to have too much on my chart. It's so easy to get chopped around right now. I mean, this ticker literally just had a huge red candle and pop right back again. So it's tough right now. I mean, you could be riding that 9 EMA or the 9 EMA on the 5-minute, but it's hard to feel really comfortable on this ticker right now, I would say. Also, notice how the 9 EMA and the 15 EMA are super tight right here. We're in a very strong consolidation ranging phase, and it's easy to trip over yourself. I mean, part of me wants to trade this kind of light sell-off here and look for that pop back higher, but the other part of me just knows, like, this is where a lot of dangerous stuff happens, and you could just be down really quickly because you're kind of trading that backside. So this was that failed breakdown and popped higher really quick. So this could be a good entry now. And it sold right back off again. So there were dip buyers on there, but they weren't really holding it super well. There's a bid, big bid. Let's go in with small size, see if we can get this rip. That was a little bit aggressive there. See how I just top ticked that one? That was not good. It's getting a little bit of a lower entry here, but if this doesn't hold, I'm going to stop out quite quickly. It was a little bit of an ear beaver just now. I saw that hammer candle, I got excited. Yeah, I got too excited there. All right, took my small loss. I'm not saying it can't rip up here, but with a hammer like that, you're buying on the you're buying a breakout or bailout, and the fact that it pulled back again, that's a big red flag. So I need to leave it be. Yeah, see, I'd be down 60 at that point. And if it does break here, you just gotta be really careful, because on backsides, you know, you're always, your profit target, your risk, always outweighs your reward. So your reward is kind of back to the 9 EMA, but your risk is always that big flush. So backside trading is a negative risk reward trading style, although it feels much more, because it feels like, oh, if I get this big reversal here, I'll be better off. But that's just not the case, because more times than not, it fails at these points. So the consumer confidence came out a minute ago, but it seems like the market shrugged that off, didn't really do anything. Or not consumer confidence, balance of trade. And that's usually something we don't look for so much. It's not something that's super important, so it didn't have any big effects. All right, so we have FRTX popping up here, 2%. Had a bit of a double bottom, but we're still on the backside. But I think there is that chance that we might break pretty soon here. So I'm going to keep looking. Last time we broke out, let's move this even a little bit lower. Last time we had that nice little breakout here, then we formed a bit of a first stare, had that breakout. I was a little bit aggressive here, so I should have done the same thing here that I did here, basically. Now we're trying again. We had a good 5 minute setup, overall double bottom. Maybe the first one will be rejected, or this could be a breakout trade. So far, a bit of a rejection. Whew, bigger rejection than I would have expected. Let's see if we can ride that back up. This is why you don't really want to buy these tickers so high, and this is why I was so hesitant here with with that breakout trade. Nice, so it's definitely looking like it's holding. I didn't get a decent size, but that's fine. It's not like a trade I'd feel super comfortable with, like 3,000-4,000 shares. So if we can get a move back to like 3, 4, 6, 3, 5, that would be really nice. Could be a breakout at 43 really soon. Let's Seeing if there's that last opportunity to get a lower fill. MACD's still selling off. Waiting for that last potential pop. Gotta be so careful with your entries lately. It's crazy. We're also overall in a bit of a range, so not like on a new front side like we were here. Although this front side was very short-lived. It was basically that pop. A bit of a waiting game right now. Alright, nice pop there. Let's see if we can get one more. Nice. I think we can break 50. That's a lot. It's a big bid. Boom. Nice. Beautiful trade. Smaller size, but we nailed that one. I didn't get nearly a great exit or like a perfect exit, but again, it's never about that perfect entry or exit. So it's nice we were able to get some green on that. I'm a little bit skeptical overall of this ticker though. Triad just said in the Discord, be careful of potential dump. I was literally just thinking that in my mind. That's what I said as well. I'm kind of nervous about this ticker. I think right now you could maybe get a little bit more action in here, but we've had a lot of rejections off this zone, and ranging pullbacks, which basically is this, you know, we're in a range, we're pulling back, they do tend to be really problematic at the best. So I don't know. I'm not convinced by any means. SVRE move-in has decent volume. $2 is a critical zone on this ticker. Let's see if we can ride some of the breakout. 65% is pretty good. Electrical equipment, that's been a hot topic. I would like to start off with smaller size because I don't want to get flushed on with big size, which sometimes happens on these new tickers. But this one has quite a bit of SVRE. Putting it on my second screen quickly. A volume and percent change. So since yesterday, that's a really good sign. So I'll put my limit orders up, start seeing if I can accumulate this ticker near turning points, near bigger support areas. It hasn't really pulled back much yet, so I do want to be careful because tickers like this will often pull back like 10% very quickly. So that would be on the low side of this wick. So let's see if we can get an accumulation. 2.5 $1.5 are always really critical for tickers like this. So another thing I want to keep in mind. $3 is critical, and then here's like that half zone. I think $3 is probably more critical in this ticker. Let's see if we can get that pivot. Nice sell off there. Let's see if it goes a little bit further. The spread is just wicked on this ticker. Here we go. A little bit more of a pullback. That 224 bid is really holding. Missed that. Maybe for the better. Alright, got our first entry. Let's see if we can keep scaling into this one. That's the plan. Bid's holding pretty well. You got to give it to it. Yeah, I missed it. First trade. I'd rather make it a quick trade. No. I'll take my little 20 bucks. Not so much to run home about, but that's fine. We also have the close here, so it's very, very bullish. Waiting for a bit more of a pullback to VWAP or so. Kind of to the lower end of this support, this 5-minute candle, not necessarily a break, but to the lower end. Might be too conservative here. Volume's actually pretty good on this ticker. So we had a pullback here, about 9–10% bounce. Just gotta be careful. So far it's holding really well. There's the buyers. I can't chase on these tickers. I've been screwed over so much lately from chasing. It's not a classic breakout either because it's more of an ABC pattern. So I'd rather wait for a better ABC setup. Here we go. First entry, second entry. It's holding really, really well, but that could also mean it's about to flush on us. Because once that floor gives out, sometimes it sells off really quickly, as you're seeing now. Oh, floor came in again. Now we're gonna want to get aggressive. Buyers showed that they were in the room. Max size maybe 3,000–4,000. Whoa, wow, look at that. So that was one of those classic examples where there's a quick wick and you want to have your sell orders ready to go. Tricky the way these tickers sometimes behave. These it's a $2 stock, but it was just a $1 stock, and anything below $2 I feel like has it in its DNA to just be really sketchy. Get these limit orders out for now. That's really struggling here. Oops. That was a bigger sell-off than I was expecting. A bit unfortunate. Should be bouncing here. Tons of support. I don't want a bottom tick. Could easily keep bouncing. That was a big loss though. Quite unfortunate. Alright, stopping out. Yeah. Got me. FRTX is actually coming back. Doesn't look too bad. Found a really big, made a big V. Back over the 5-minute. Breakout, still stuck in a range, but could give us some opportunity, so keeping a close eye on this one. Fortunately, I'm back red on the day. haven't really had much of a flow. Got a little bit more flow on FRTX, but gave it back on SVRE. So that was an initial pullback there, 1 minute pullback on a 5-minute breakout. It's a really good setup. Let's see if we can get a little bit more aggressive here. So since I'm back red on the day, I do need to be a little bit more conservative again. So again, back to getting base hits. I also have to make sure I don't size too much. We could check out SVRE later just as a review as well. One more fill. It's very slow, so I'm kind of pausing it. There's that bid kind of popping up, disappearing. Bit of a failed breakout there, but there's huge support right around here at 33. I was probably a little bit too eager to beaver with that initial size, but hard to say. The 1 minute pullback setup is usually really, really good. Unfortunately, that bounce got a little bit slowed down. Just trying to reduce some of my exposure, some of my risk for now. For now, it's a failed move, so I'm just trying to get out of this ticker. Not the biggest loss, so it's fine. Just got to make sure it stays that way. Don't want to see this bid get chipped away. Stopping out. So really tricky day, very tricky day so far. If we go back to SVRE, you'll see it did bounce. Luckily, I didn't bottom tick. That would have been very frustrating, but the bounce was weak, and then it kept selling off. So this ticker never really made it. I had that ABC idea, but I should have been a little bit more hesitant for the fact that it was actually crawling down, and it wasn't, you know, a classic ABC where it usually holds, maybe pennant or maybe a flat top, but in this case it was really it was really going down. So I think I was just a little bit late on SVRE. Nice little breakout potential. I don't want to go with big size just because I feel like I was late on it. I'll give it another attempt. It's a little slow. Stop out for break even. Yeah, got a small little win there. Obviously, it could always go higher, but I saw this candle, I pressed record, and then it kind of did the move. I was just a little bit late there. Would have been great to go in with like 1,500 shares and try to get that break back over VWAP. Classic breakout trade, but no, it didn't work. Well, technically it did work, but a little late to the party. SVRE. Actually holding much better than I expected. Sorry, I was just doing a workout, so I'm a little winded. Held this breakout much better than I expected, so let's keep watching it. Trying to see if I can catch the pullback here, but don't want to buy the micro pullback. Last time this ticker didn't really pull back that much once it was on the front side, so we might be seeing something similar again today. We'll see. Wow, big wick just happened, and I don't know what that was all about. That was so sketchy. Let's keep an eye on it here. Small loss, but tiny size. I think it's worth to hold and just keep watching. That's the first 90 EMA pullback. That's originally where I wanted my entry. Let's see if this holds and we could actually get a little bit of momentum back higher. Man, this ticker is tricky. I've yet to really nail this ticker, that's for sure. There we go. Yeah, fortunately, it's not working again. I want to be patient here. We're still in a front side trend, although it's super ugly. Very tough ticker. Very tricky ticker for me. So there's always those tickers that you'll notice the more you trade, the more red you get. And usually it's, sometimes you can weasel it back and get back in a flow on a ticker like you saw with me in FRTX, but usually it's a sign that maybe it's a good ticker to walk away from. And I think SVRE is a really good example of that at the moment. Really need to be patient here, see if I can get a better exit. We're at huge support, so the chance of it bouncing, especially with such a wicky ticker like we just saw, is very high, and I could easily get out for a better exit. Either way, it's a loss. See, look at that, another giant wick it's formed. So sketchy, so sketchy. So let's see how it tries to break higher here. Yeah, stopping out for now. I think I'm done with this one. Just keep giving back. All right, let's get over, ready for the market open. UNCY could also be in play. Keeping an eye on it for now. FRTX selling off. Market's kind of break even. Well, it's a gap. It's a bit of a, yeah, similar to where it closed. All right, let's see it. Time of force day. Oh yeah, I have a bunch of alerts that I set pre-market. Not so important, just kind of mapping out price zones. Could see some good bottom bounce potential. SVRE, now the market open, could give it another chance. Typically, tickers perform a little different than they do pre-market. So, seeing if we could find some correlation there for that. I would like a morning panic or so. I'm not sure if we'll get something like that. Oh, that was a big sell-off. I'd be worried it goes, yeah, there goes red. Something below $2, double bottom area. Could be very realistic for a move. This ticker never really holds its highs on these breakouts, so that's also a bit of a concern. And I'll be patient. SVRE could be gearing up for that breakout back over VWAP. I would just be very careful for a flush if it doesn't hold. It's very tricky ticker to trade, at least for me personally. Could see a quick move, but flush right back down again. So even buying that pullback, if it does break out, would be, I feel like, risky. So maybe we'll get like a bit of a morning sell-off to like 9.3 or so before we move higher. That could be an option to trade. SVRE, I feel like a little bit better. Still waiting for something else to pop. So far there's no open, nothing popping on my scanner. It's very weird. Yeah, here it goes. It had a quick sell off and then pop right back higher again. Oh man, I find this ticker to be so difficult. Volume on it is nice. Now at 1 million shares, that's really good to see that. Yeah, flushes right back down again. Ugh. Yeah, and this is why I didn't trade the ticker. Look at that. What a disaster. Absolute disaster, this ticker. Kind of feels like no surprise that UNCY is somehow the ticker that's performing. Not super unsurprising. I'm down 200 today. So trying to manage my risk, which I think I'm doing an okay job at. But there's just not a lot of opportunities to trade today. AMAM, former multi-day runner, is also moving, but the problem with this ticker is the fact that there's a lot of resistance on this one. So you'd be buying into some heavy resistance right now, which I'm never really big fan of. Maybe we'll get that consolidation here and a pop higher, and I think it's probably somewhat realistic to go for that because there's nothing else moving, so you know there's traders looking around for opportunity. But it's you know, it's tough. It's just really tough out there right now. There's definitely a lack of volume and follow through, and really just feels like traders are a little bit scattered. My scanner started working again. I think watching KBAL is actually kind of an interesting ticker, so I'm going to keep an eye on this one. See if we can get that move over 1240. Still got a little bit of time. it's a little bit of a large cap though, so these make me a bit nervous with macro coming in so soon. We'll see how it holds here. I think any entry off of like 26 and lower would be really phenomenal, so I'll keep an eye on that. So we got our first size on KBAL. See if it pulls back a little bit more first. The better the entry, the better we can manage our risk on it. It's already trying to pop a little bit higher. I was looking for like 300-400 shares. I got a quarter size right now, very small. You'll notice how I'm just being very risk averse, which is never my favorite place to be on the defense here. But I'm right on the day, and it's really not a great trading environment overall. So that's why I have to put myself a little bit more on the defense, which sometimes messes me up more than anything. But you know, I can't be, you know, getting super aggressive, buying high, looking for a breakout. Otherwise, that's how you can reach max stop so quickly like that. Looks like it might pull back again here. Looking for this ticker to move to 1240 or so. That's the goal. Bid stacking pretty aggressively at 26. There we go, got our size at 26. So half size, still a very small size overall though. I'll pause for now. It's going to be a slow one. A little bit of a channel. I noticed on KBAL, this could be the second retest, so I'm looking for that move to 24. All right, KBAL is doing what I was hoping it would, just that constant grind to the front side. I'm a little bit nervous. We're getting a sideways head and shoulders. There's a lot of resistance now at 35. Seeing if we could get that breakout. So I'm going to give it a little bit longer. But as we break out, I'll start trying to take some size off for sure. I also don't want to be holding it leading up to this big macro event. So ideally close it as soon as possible. Light breakout, my alert went off, but talk about not really doing anything. All right. Come on, come on. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's rip. Here we go. Let's get another one of those. Yeah, now there's a little bit of breakout momentum. I can feel it. Oh man, it's oh, there's the bid. That's what we were waiting for. Bid crawling higher. Oh man, what a. Today's probably been one of the hardest trading days of the year, without a question. Here we go. Come on, last little pop. 39. I'm looking for that move over 39, and I'd probably be closing pretty quickly. We got 3 more minutes before the Fed, 3 minutes and like 20 seconds before the Fed drops, so I just want to ideally get out of this position. Just in case it rips quickly, which unlikely, but in case it does. Sometimes when breakouts happen, they obviously happen quicker than you'd expect. Here we go, 39, 40 getting chipped. Back at 39. I don't even care. Yeah, all right, I'm out. Take my $35 profit. Very, very small. I'm still red on the day. I'm not sure if I can get back green. But, oh yeah, there goes to 42. Nice, keep going, go, go, go. I'm out, but I like to see tickers hold. It makes me more confident in the future. I just, it's weak. SVRE absolutely failed. So this was my mistake today. Just could not get green on this ticker. And then FRTX. Actually, the fact that I'm red today does not even bother me, because I feel like I did actually quite okay trading. I just didn't get the opportunities. And, you know, I also kind of totally sat on that initial front side here on FRTX. I mean, it was only a 20% move. It looks much better than that, but yeah, it just didn't turn out the way I expected. All right, you got 2 more minutes here. KBAL went all the way to 1244. The SPY is taking a nice little doo-doo. Imagine buying this pullback. That would have been a bad idea. Not super surprised it sold off so aggressively. It's a big, big pullback though. Very, very big pullback. Openings reported. Oops. Still needs to update here. There it is, 1080. It's a little above forecast, and the economy might be looking stronger still than maybe hope for. Less job openings, so they were expecting even less, and there's more job openings, so companies are looking to hire. Usually a bullish sign for the economy, bearish sign for the Fed to hike rates. So EDBL is starting to crawl higher. It looks pretty good. I wasn't super excited that we'd really get anything else, but I just kind of stuck around. Maybe something will pop, I was thinking, but overall I kind of felt like I was done today. We are kind of extended on this ticker. We already kind of consolidated here. This might have been better setup. It does have some pretty nasty pullbacks right around this $5 zone, 450 or so. I mean, there's tons of resistance here. So I'm not even really sure how much more we can pump. But right now, I think it is probably worth watching this ticker for now. But I don't know if I can really get into any sort of these super micro pullbacks. So I'm just going to go small size until to get a feel for the price action. This is tiny, tiny size, just in case I get flushed on. I don't want it to be a big deal. And I think there is always that chance. And now it should pop back to 4.6, and if it doesn't, I could finally size down on the 9 EMA, which is also fine. See that bigger pullback there? Just giving myself a little bit of wiggle room. Looking to take profits around 4.6. Again, purposely using tiny size right now. I do think it could go all the way down to 24, so that's what I'm mentally planning for. There's a lot of support here on the 5-minute though. We're still above the former 5 minutes, which is quite a bullish sign. We still have time in this 5-minute candle, which is also very bullish. So that's why I'm kind of getting a little bit more aggressive here. As it could easily keep on pumping. That's a lot of sellers there. Took some size off. Still pulling back. I don't see it moving back over 4.6 just yet. Closing this position out for now. Ideally, we can get a fill here around 4.3. So that's what I'm waiting for. I think I might have missed that pullback, but that's fine. No, I was actually right. It did have that wick. I missed it by a cent. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's fine. Closing. I'm not chasing here. I had the right idea, but I missed it by a freaking cent. Oh well. Tough day. Wow. So this is a very long trading day for me. Usually my recordings are not 58 minutes long. They're usually like 45 max. I'm slightly red on the day. I do like to trade until 10:30, so that's what I'm doing here, waiting for that potential setup. So many times I'll close at like 10:25 and then or 10:28, and then literally 1 or 2 minutes later we'll have that setup I've been waiting for. So today's a real patience day. Made a few errors, but I think overall my trading was okay. I could have definitely been much worse, that's for sure. So I guess now we just kind of wait a little bit longer and then we'll go from there. All right, well, that's going to call it for me today. I'm down 154, not really too bad. I feel like I didn't have a lot of opportunities. I really messed up, I think, on SVRE, which I knew somehow I wasn't on a flow on this ticker, and somehow I still kept trying. Luckily, I didn't try anything here because I think that could have got me on the wrong side of the wrong side of the trade. FRTX, this ticker had potential. But somehow by the time I started trading it here in this area, the move was over. So I tried for these few continuations. They didn't work out. Luckily, I was able to get green on the ticker. The first trade on it was a little bit annoying here where I gave back. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really regret today. I think there was, I think the way I traded today, I'm pretty happy with. So yeah, I think I can be pretty proud of myself about that, even though it's a red day. and move on and look forward to tomorrow where there's going to be a little bit less macro. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in and hope you enjoyed the first public, I said that so loud, public recording. I will be listing them on my YouTube channel as well right here, so or right here. So you'll see them start popping up, or I'll replace this whole entire pod or this playlist with the new playlist. And we got a really good pod coming out. Will be recorded today. I'm not sure if we'll publish it today, but that is with a trader from Warrior Trading, Danny. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to give a subscribe to the insider page. All right, guys, ciao. Stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.